y'all doing? I apologize in advance for the crying in the background. Um, Today is September 1st, 2023. This week has been a week. Um, we're learning, we're growing and developing, and everything that we hear, everything that He shows us. You just going to kind of just shake your head at yourself and just kind of, Lord, what was I thinking? Why was I not thinking? But His grace is sufficient. He's faithful, and we just have to be thankful that we are aware now, and we'll make whatever necessary changes He deems fit for us to change. So I earlier this week, just kind of taking inventory, because we're growing, we're developing. If you've been on this journey with me, a lot of stuff we've gone over thus far, and I was talking with the Lord, and I was like, he'll leave the 99 for the one. You know what I'm saying? And but in this day and age that we're in, a lot of people aren't going to leave the 99 for the one. That one just going to figure it out. Hopefully nothing bad happens, but typically they're not going to leave all of their people for just one person. And I was just talking to him about it because it was just kind of discouraging. But that's another thing when you don't have God in His proper place. He said He would do that. Man never said that they would. But while I was, pouring my heart out to Him about that, He just said it so clear, so plain as day. Don't want to say it wrong. Say like I said, they got what's coming to them. And I was just like, okay, they ain't got nothing to do with me. So that led to the next day. These conversations kind of spilled over this whole week with me and the Lord. And He was like, if there's nothing there, and for there you can enter anything. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be something you've been trying to do for a long time. If there's nothing there, why would you stay? Because if God tells you to do something, if God, He says in His word, He will confirm His word with signs following. We talked about that, if not last week, like the week before that. So if you don't have that sign following, why would you stay? There's nothing there. It's like He said, there's nothing there. Why would you stay? But we don't think about these things. We just kind of, it'll happen eventually, but if it ain't there, it ain't there. And I have something further down on my list that I'm just gonna flat out read it to you. So that was another thing. He was like, you just gotta let it go. You were wrong. Accept it. You heard wrong. You said it, thought it was him. You gotta let it go. And then you have to go. And then once you realize you're wrong and you go, you correct it, and you're going right, He said you need to go in now. And that's something I believe in Him for wisdom, for restoration, and a speed to it. That's what I'm really looking for, a speed, right? So this is another conversation that I had with the Lord. Y'all just all up in my business today. That's the conversation I had with the Lord while I was walking outside on my lunch break. I typically walk on my lunch break. And I actually had it with my husband too. It's like we were asleep, and He brought me back to Psalm 3. In Psalm 3 it said, I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. So He says, I laid me down and I slept. I awake because the Lord sustained me. But we were literally sleeping. we just didn't have any clue or any idea what the enemy was doing. We had no knowledge. We was just out here down bad, like how I say. And it's like we only awaked out of that sleep. We only got up because you sustained us. He sustained us in this last season. And then another thing was continue being consistent in your healing and your forgiving. We're just beginning. It's just the beginning. So we got a ways to go, but he is good. He is faithful. He is kind. So that's all I can ask for. Okay, so I'm just going to read this verbatim because this hit me on yesterday. On the 31st, I was walking like I typically do on my lunch break and just talking with him, and I just poured out my heart to him. And with me, like writing songs, stuff like that. I'm not a poetry type person. I'm a songwriter. So I'm big on writing all my thoughts out and everything. I'll just read it to y'all. So it's not about quantity with God. It's about the quality or the standard. Anything or everything in your life, he's calling for better. If it can be restored, he has already done it. That's Joel 2:25. I'll put in the description box. If there's nothing there, leave it there. And then I put 1 Peter 5:7. That's when you cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. Leave all of it there. What you thought, heard of what you thought would be, and what was done to you. If you are not being treated like the child of God you are, it is not what he has for you, period. We have in our mind what we think should be, that God never intended for it to be. And then the scripture is, there's a way that seems right to man, but the end thereof is death. And death doesn't have to be physical death, but if it's not living, it's not producing, there's no fruit, then it's dead, i.e. death. So I put let it go. In this season, he's restoring. What will be, will be. What will not, you don't want to hear it, but what will not, will never be. Go in peace in all things. Get in his word. Challenges are a part of the journey, but never with the people he called you to be with or places he has graced you to be. There is an ease in this season. I actually told my supervisor this. I was like, this is the first time I've worked somewhere or I've been somewhere and it wasn't all of this, stuff going on. It was just, but that's what happens when you're where you're supposed to be and you're around the people you're supposed to be. It's not always supposed to be like a tug of war, a back and forth. How can two walk together except they be agreed? A lot of us have not been walking with people that agree with us. They don't see the God in us. They don't want to acknowledge it, or they see it. They just don't want to. They just like, oh, it can't be in you or this, that, but God created me just like he created you. And that's why we're learning to grow and develop what we have, not so that we can please people or please man, but to please God, like he says in Hebrews 11:6. And also just to break free from these limitations that man put on you. So let's get back into it. Like I said, there is an ease. If there is no ease, it ain't meant to be. Being wrong hurts. Starting over is a challenge in itself, but it is insane to not change, but expect change. This isn't a call. Those things that be not as though they were situation. This is a choice or error that you want God to co-sign, and he only confirms his word and his will with signs. Accept his way of escape, heal and let God be God, and rest in him as the good father he is. The best is yet to come. Stop holding up your destiny in dead places. Can these dry bones live? As God lives, he can do all things according to his will. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I don't care if I was wrong about anything or who know. I got a will I'm called here to do, and kids and generations to train on doing their purpose. Let everything else fade away and let God take his place. So with that, he said, Don't look back. Once you are made aware of your error, don't look back. And then I had said everything out of the will of God is a substitute, because I've heard people say that before. And then he came back. He said it's a very dangerous substitute. And in this season, if you're going, if you're changing something that you've been doing for years, or something that you just thought you just would never do without, it's something that he told me. I don't even know if I even said it in one of the previous things, but he said videos was, you're not going to lose anything. If there was nothing there, there was nothing to lose. Let's connect that together. And then on top of that, he said you're not going down. So like today, I was just driving, heading to work, and he was like, don't let me go. And when he said don't let me go, it automatically hit me like, okay, when you say don't let you go, I think of you. I think of the word. I think of it all together. Everything you told me, who you are, and then your written word. Your word spoken, your written word, and you. Don't let you go. So and that's another way for him to say, don't let it slip. So this has this week been a lot on you, girl. I didn't do everything right. Fasting is not something that you do for fun. Fasting, it really does let you get a look into, oh Lord, I thought we had worked on this. Lord, I thought this was removed. It just goes to show you how some stuff is deeply rooted, and he needs to uproot it. He is the one that does the uprooting. But I'm so grateful for the growth that I have. I'm so grateful for his faithfulness. And it's okay to be wrong, because he is faithful. He is there. He will love us through the change. He is ready for us to walk in what he has for us, to not accept anything less than his absolute best for us. And he said better. It's going to be better in everything. And he's going to open your eyes. You're going to see. We're seeing things like in Joshua. We're seeing things that we didn't see before. And if we did, we wouldn't be where we are. But that's why we're asking. Well, I hope that you will believe, with me for wisdom. Now that we're understanding what areas that, we needed to change. While he's restoring that restoration, that there's a speed to it. So even though oh man, I did this for years, we're believing God for a speed, because faith is now. So he can put us to where we would have been if we were aware of where we should have been from the beginning. So y'all have a good one. Yeah, that's it for me. I hope it blessed you. If it did, like, share, subscribe. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.